Hello everyone, Stephen from RB Digital here. I'm going to be showing you today on how to unbox and install a 24-inch Toyota Falcon slim shaker and applicator. So what you're going to want to do is this crate's going to come to your facility. You're going to have these tabs that are going to be locked down according to here. You're going to want something that gives you a bit of a leverage, so a flathead would be the best way to do it. So we're going to open this up. And then we're going to start lifting the top hood first. Get this away. Next thing you're going to want to do is take the sides off. Yeah. Then there's going to be a supporting brace here. We're going to have to take this off. There are 2 Phillips screws on this side, and there will be another 2 on the other side. So you're going to want to unscrew both sides first. All right, so once you have this unscrewed, you're going to want to pull this straight up and out. Next thing, we'll take off the packaging of the shaker. It'll come with some accessories. You'll have some additional light bulbs that you can use in case something were to go wrong. So we'll put these aside for now. You'll now see that there's 2 mounting brackets on the side here. So one on that side, and there will be a second one on this side. So this is going to be holding it onto the crate. So what you're going to want to do is first unscrew these 2 Phillips and then take an Allen key to unscrew these on both sides. All right, so once we have both brackets off, it is now freestanding on the skid. We're gonna want an extra set of hands to help pull this off the skid, as you do not need a forklift for this shaker. Everything can be handled with an additional person. We're gonna push this close to the edge. Now if you wanna just grab from the bottom here, I'm just gonna slide it out. Keep on going. Okay, go down. All right. And then we're going to slide this off and down. Perfect. And we'll continue unwrapping the shaker. All right, now you'll find some plastic piece is wrapped around. I'm going to take that out. First thing you're going to want to do is open these locks. You'll find 2 on this side and another 2 on this side. So you just open it like that, flick it up. And then you're going to lift the hood from the front side here. So it goes up once like that, and then it's going to go up one more time. We'll remove these plastic pieces. You do want to be careful. There are 2 foam pieces right over here. This needs to be removed before you connect this power in. Just going to inspect that the bulbs were not damaged in transport. Everything looks good. You'll have 2 bulbs at the top here, and then another 2 bulbs right over here. So this will take care of heating the film across the top and then going down towards the take-up once we have that installed. To close this hood, you'll notice that this doesn't let you close it. You do have to pick up this lock over here, and that will allow you to close the hood fully. Okay, so that's it for the uncrating. We'll have to start the installation. So you'll have two separate boxes that come with the shipment. They are the accessories, including the cooling fans, the take-up motors for your film, these are the brackets that are going to hold the take-up motors. And this is also part of the assembly for the take-up motors. Inside of the box, you'll have all the bolts, a little brush to clean all the powder. You'll also have two separate keys. One key is to lock the hood. So these are lockable. So if you don't want to have your operator accessing to the heating bulbs for safety reasons, you can lock them up. First thing first is we're going to unwrap the wrapping for the take-up brackets. So for the brackets, you're going to want them in this orientation right here. If you do flip them, you're going to have the issue where the rod doesn't reach the Allen key bolts. So you do want to make sure it is in this specific one. There are 4 holes. These are going to be screwed to the back side of the machine on both sides. Take 4 of them. So you're going to line this on the right side of the machine, and you're just going to finger tighten them for now. And you're going to take your Allen key, tighten them all up. So on this side, you have your 4 holes. You're going to line that up to the side. You're going to put your screws in. So we're going to loosen these 4 Allen bolts. And you don't want to fully take it out, just enough that it doesn't thread out. Next, you're going to grab these 2 poles. You're going to want to put the inside one in first. And what you want to do is just kind of measure on both sides that it is somewhat even. And then once you figure that out, you can tighten these bolts down. Now you don't want to over torque these. So as soon as it starts giving you some pressure here, you kind of want to just give it a half turn and stop. You're going to do the same thing on this side here. And then a half turn, and that's it. So that this doesn't move anywhere. If it is slipping, you're going to want to tighten it a little bit more. Next thing, we're going to put the second pole in. I'll put it in, but we're gonna leave one side out just so we can make sure to attach the take-up rolls. You're gonna wanna align these rolls correctly. The right side is gonna have the connection. This connection goes to the right side over here. You'll see one says TUR installed. This is for the turning for the media take-up. And the first one here is the electric fan, which we'll install next. You're going to want to loosen these so that this doesn't stop us from feeding it into the pole here. Same thing with the left side. You're going to want to feed the left side in first. And then the right. And now we're going to slide this pole back. And again, you're going to want to make sure this is even on both sides. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to start tightening these 2 Allen bolts. Pressure, half turn. Then we're going to put this connection, which only goes one way in. That's going to go to the second slot over here. Tighten the nut. And then move this out and just have it tightened for now until we put our core on. So the next thing we're going to install are the electric fans. it's gonna have the bracket inside of here. So when we open this up, we'll have access to the brackets that we're gonna be installing and the fan itself. So on both sides, there are gonna be screws. So you're gonna wanna take both of these out fully. You'll notice the connection cable is on this side. So this is going to be on the right side or the operating side of the machine. You're going to want to have this positioned like this once we have the bracket on. So you're going to have two brackets for the electric fans. They're going to be oriented this way on both sides of the machine. You're going to have two Allen bolts on both sides to put this on. So we'll do one side first. Right. So I usually have this pulled all the way outwards, and then I tighten these bolts just so we keep the other side exactly the same. Next thing is you're going to take the two screws for this electric fan, and you're going to want to tighten one of these at a time on both sides. So take one, position it over here, and screw in the top here first, just a few threads, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just so we can have this sitting here. We're going to take the other two, we're going to put that in, and we'll continue tightening this. Do the same thing on the other side. Now for this, I usually have it positioned at the highest setting. So we're going to hold it at the highest setting here and just tighten both sides down. Next thing is you're going to take your electric fan connection. You're going to put it in that first slot here. Again, turn it, goes one way in, and then lock the nut. You are provided with some extra Allen bolts if you lose them, so you can use them as well. There are spare keys for these in case you need them. And it comes with a little tiny manual that you can go through and read for any of the specifications and on how to use the machine and maintain the machine. Next thing, we'll take off any of the plastic that is still on here. I'm going to open the little powder area, and there will be another plastic over here. You just have to catch an edge, get that edge, pull it out. Inside of where you're going to be pouring the powder, there are extra tools in there, which is actually sitting on the powder tray. So on the right side of the machine, where the operator side, there is a big drawer that you want to pull out. So you're going to pull this drawer out. This is where your powder is going to fall into, and you're going to have a little rod with two discs. This is going to act as the powder holder or powder guide. So you're going to want to unwrap this. This will be during your prints. So we're going to put this tray back in. Now we have access to these rods. So these are pretty much put in like this. And what happens is this is going to sit on top of the film, and then this is going to hold the powder from falling down, so you can have continuous use of the machine for long periods of time without having to add additional powder on top. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is take your film, measure this exactly. This little lip here on the inside is what's sitting on the film, and that's going to hold this in place on the film. Then you're going to tighten these two screws on both sides once you have the correct measurement, and then this lays directly on top of the film inside when you have that loop, and that will be shown in a different video. Again, this cover has a lock here. So what you want to do is lift this over here, and that will allow you to close it. It stops you when you do open it fully. So just lift this again and have it closed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place this in front of the machine. All right. We're going to leave some room just because we have to still set up the preheat table. So on the front of the machine, you'll see this is the preheat table. All you got to do is lift this, bend this bracket down, and then you have adjustments that you can make here. And we're going to put it on the third slot for now, and we're going to see if this works right. If not, we can have it lowered an extra 2 or raise it up higher depending on our position of our printer. So put it back to the third slot. Have this set up towards the printer. And we'll put it down once onto the second slot from the bottom, and that's about right, so that we can have this film go directly into the shaker like that. Apply the powder on top. Once it's applied, the film is going to be attached to the take-up roll. That's going to go down here. There is a little rod here at the bottom. You'll see a cross. You want your film to go behind this rod, and then it's going to go underneath and attach up to the take-up roll here. All right, so this machine does come with a 20-foot plug. It's a 30 amp, 220 volt twist lock. So you're gonna wanna make sure you get the correct plug outlet for your facility. All right. We're going to get this connected here. Once you have it connected, twist this on, press the power button, the machine turns on. If the machine does not turn on, all right at the bottom here is a fuse breaker. So you're going to want to have this opened. And then you're going to want to flick this switch in the up position for on. Okay. So if you notice that your machine doesn't turn on, double check the fuse breaker here. Make sure it is on the on position. That might be why it doesn't work. So now we're going to double check to make sure everything is running correctly. So twist for the stop, power on. You'll see your display running here. Okay, so we're just going to make sure to test that all these features work on this machine. So on the right side here, you have your cooler. Turn it on. That is for the cooling fans on the back there. So we're going to double check the cooling fans, and they are in fact working. Another thing we can do here is you have your dryer temp and preheat temp. So if you press it once, it'll start blinking. This is where you can actually select and adjust your temperature. So we'll just drop this down 60 for now. Press it again and it will save it. Next thing we're going to do is adjust the dryer temperature. So we're going to want to adjust this according to the spec on our website. Press it again. This is the current temperature value, and this is what it's set to. So if we press and hold this, it turns it on. We're also going to turn on the preheat table over here. Press and hold, turns it on. Now these temperatures will start increasing, so you want to double check that the preheat table is warming up, as well as the heater on the back. So we're going to open all these up again. And we're going to lift this just to find out that the bulbs are working. So you usually either see a red light. Be careful to touch this as they will hurt you. So they are working. So we're going to close this. And lock them back up. Another thing to take a look at is the take-up. We're going to make sure this works. So if it is not functioning, it is probably due to the switch on the back here. So you do want to make sure it is in the direction that you would like your media to take up. All right, next thing here we're going to be adjusting is the conveyor speed. So we're going to just drop this down to 1. Powder speed will leave exactly the same, and the shaker speed will turn on. So again, to turn it on, you're going to press and hold until you hear the beep. Now it is on value 3, and you'll see inside there that is for the dusting of the film. Preheat table is warming up. We're going to double check to make sure that works, which it is. Everything is fully functioning. On the top here, you do have your exhaust vent. This is going to be attached to a fume extractor, or you can have it vented out on a fan setup. So once we have this shaker put into place and everything is functioning and working, we're going to want to actually put these on its legs as well as to lock the wheel. So to do that is underneath the machine, there are going to be 2 of these things that you can turn. You're going to have these put out on both sides. All right, so we got the legs down on both sides here. So now this won't be moving in place, and we can make sure this is aligned. If there's any minor corrections, you can just give the machine just a little bit of a nudge to move it back and forth as needed, and that's it. All right, so this is the instructional video on how to uncrate and install the 24-inch Toyota Slim Shaker. We'll have more videos out on how to set this up and how to use the functions properly. Thank you.